So we'll start where we're at now. So basically right here, this is oregano, and I got this year, little bit of plant, and it's spreading now, which I'm very happy to see. This right here is a black bean, and then I have the marigolds back here. Now I wanted this to be really bushy like this, and the reason why is because it basically protects the soil from getting cooked and destroying all those beneficial microbes. And the marigolds in there actually deter pests, which is the reason why they're in there, along with these onions that I have growing in here as well. I put a post on Instagram where I harvested this kale, and I made a nice salad for myself with cucumbers, this romaine lettuce right here, and I'm waiting for the tomatoes, because this is another majestic looking tomato plant along with the ones I got back there. But the one I have here, basically it was a big experiment with this one, and the reason why is because, see, basically these are all my tomatoes are from seed. So basically what I did was I buried the stem. I took the foliage off on the bottom. I buried the stem 12 to 13 inches deep, and then as it was growing, I kept taking the bottom foliage out and I kept mounding soil on it until I made it really, really high, and I couldn't go any higher for the simple fact that I had this here. But I went so high, in fact, that I had to put this around this so that it doesn't all break apart. And I mean, this has to be down, I'm not exaggerating, like 36 inches deep, you know what I'm saying, maybe more. But since I did that, this plant got really strong, because as you know, the more roots develop, the more food you get. But look at all those line of tomatoes here. There's another line of tomatoes up here. I mean, you can go up and you'll start to see lines of tomatoes everywhere. I mean, and these are the ones that are gonna start producing more now. As you can see, these have a lot of tomatoes. This is a really strong, healthy tomato plant. So yeah, and then I got a patio tomato, and I pulled 6 suckers out of it, and I basically cloned them, and that's what I got growing here. That's one. Here's the second one. Here's the third. Here's the fourth, and then here's the fifth. So actually it was 5, not 6. I got mixed up. But I mean, you can see how healthy they are. You know what I'm saying? These right here, the marigolds are starting to come in, which we need a lot of those, because they deter pests really, really nicely. These are onions that I have grown in between. I'll show you right now, as you can see. And the reason for the onions, again, is to deter pests. But sometimes I prune them down and I cut them, so it's kind of giving an aromatic effect also. But the ones I eat are the ones there at the end, which I'll get to in a second. So this is one of my beds here, and then this was the other bed. I showed you guys that main bed back there, because that's really, really deep down there. So I basically filled that up with beneficial soil and compost. I actually conditioned that soil, showed you guys everything that was going on over there. Hopefully I didn't skip anything, which I actually did. Let me get to that right there. This is actually butternut squash. Over here is butternut squash, and you can see I'm already getting a nice little, I'm getting fruit, and I'm getting more future fruit coming in, as you can see. This right here is goji berry. I actually cut one of these, put them in water, and basically cloned another plant, and I'm gonna grow that one in a container. But this one I bought a hell of a lot smaller than that, and it's really, really taking off. I've got one big main stalk growing in there. So that's goji berry. Here's my other pepper plant. I harvested a lot of peppers from this one already, and looking phenomenal. I got a lot of peppers growing on this one. There's a lot of peppers. I mean, I can't, the camera don't do justice, but there's a lot of peppers on this. Those are strawberries. I'm actually having a little bit of trouble with my strawberries, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what's going on with the strawberries. So this right here is basically another basil. This I bought really small, gotten huge. I'm hoping it spreads to maybe another plant. I'll take some of the seeds, plant them here, and just grow more basil and keep them inside. I don't know. They said they survive frost, but my basil last year didn't make it, so I'm not gonna keep it outside. That's why I got them in pots this year. This one right here is a white eggplant. This one's the white eggplant, and you can see the fruit. The fruit actually has spikes on them. All right, and I don't know why. This is my first year having this one. I bought this one. This is the white eggplant. So I mean, I've got a lot of fruit. Those Japanese beetles, that one's dead. But we've had some unusually cold temperatures, so you might find a lot of dead Japanese beetles around. These are cuttings from my blackberry over there. That's my main vines, and when I pruned them, I didn't throw away the cuttings. I actually planted them, and that's why I got so many blackberry cuttings this year. But you know, I've got a lot of fruit coming out in different areas, you know what I'm saying? Tell you what, I actually had my friend at the nursery, and I told her to please look out for me and get me a real stingy nettle plant. And I'll tell you what, man, she came through a month later, but she came through. This is a real stingy nettle plant. And I'll tell you what, you don't want to touch this. I've never experienced this, but when you touch this, it's shocking. It literally stings you like you got 1,000 little needles in you. So you don't want to touch this, but it's doing really nicely. It's growing, and it looks great. That's a wild blackberry plant. This is one of the later blooming blueberries. This is another pepper plant right here. Another variety of peppers, which this one I got to give a little haircut to. This one's looking a little weird, but I'm basically going to just take a few of the leaves out, and you know, it's looking good. I mean, it's giving me peppers, if you can see in there. They're actually, when you got leaves like that, it's good because it protects the fruit from the sun. So I'll see how I give it a haircut. I don't want to give it too much of a haircut, and then, you know, the fruit ends up burning. This I'm very proud of. This was actually a pecan. I germinated it, and I got a tree. I mean, this is great. I can't wait till years down the line I actually end up getting a production out of this, and what it leaves behind for people to come, you know what I'm saying, from family members and whatnot. Got some mushrooms. I actually eat those. I don't know, sometimes they say they're poisonous, and I'll eat them anyway. I haven't died yet, so I eat all kinds of mushrooms out here. If I see them, I eat them. Here's another, this one's cantaloupe, and this one, I mean, you can see how abundant this one is. I'm letting this one just pretty much grow all over the place, but it's looking great. Looking great. Here's another pumpkin vine over here, giving me a nice little pumpkin over here. I've actually cut all the side runners out, so basically just keeping it one main vine. I want it to grow all the way out there. That one will pretty much just grow on the grass there. Let it do what it needs to do. Give the floor a haircut when it needs to. Those are all my citrus trees from seed, and then that's another melon that I started from seed. Here are my peanuts. These are the peanuts I was telling you about. It looks like a lot of peanuts, but there's really not a lot of peanuts there. They just basically grew out. So it looks cool. That's another tomato plant. This is a wild blackberry. I'm gonna let this one grow as tall as the bamboo, and then I'm gonna top it. And then when you top them, that's where you start getting those side shoots, and that's where you get the fruit next year. But when you top them, again, when you get those side shoots, you wanna try to get as much fruit as possible out of them. Here's my other, well, this is a sunflower. This one right here is a sweet potato vine, the one I was telling you about. This is my other second pot right behind the sunflower, and I'll show you what's on that bed. But first, let me show you what's on this bed. And here I got these are cuttings from tomatoes. I'm probably gonna give these to neighbors, or, you know, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. But these right here, they all rooted, and now I put them in soil. Here's that goji berry that I told you I cloned. I got some nice root development on this, and I just threw it in the soil. So this is gonna give me another goji berry plant. But all these are all tomatoes, and I'll give some to the neighbors if they want. I mean, I give stuff away when it's in abundance, you know. Here, for example, corn. All those are black beans, and then I got the kale, purple leaf kale, and then I've got cucumbers here. So these cucumbers actually give me a nice little mulch in the ground, but there's a world of of cucumbers coming in over here. All those yellow flowers are all cucumbers. I got cucumbers there that I actually gotta pull this one out. You don't want it to get too big. All right. So again, it's been raining, so I didn't come out here, but this is a pretty cucumber, and I'll eat this. I eat this right away, right out of the ground. So just like that, delicious. So the cucumbers like to climb, so I gave this one, I put this spake over here for this one, and it actually wrapped its tendrils there. Hopefully it'll tie it up going this way, but the rest of it just gives it a nice mulch all around the ground, and it goes really well with the black beans, which are climbers also. That's purple leaf kale. I ate that this weekend. And then I also have melons here, onions, and some more black beans, and some marigolds right there. Those are marigolds. So Zigzag, you got a lot of stuff planted together. It's all good. I told you, this whole thing is done with magic. All my plants look green, healthy, and beautiful. That's all that matters. And I'm going to show you that it's going to look like that the entire season. Here's my other bed. There's another blueberry. I'm going to tell you what though. So that's a blueberry, and then this is a blueberry. But the birds ate all these blueberries. For some reason, specifically this one, which I'm not mad at, because you saw the amount of blueberries I have on the other side. So I basically let them eat these blueberries. I really didn't care. I've got a lot of food anyway, and you know, if they want to eat the blueberries from this one, it's funny how they're eating it from just one plant. They're not eating it from all the plants at all. So see what I got. So these are my citrus trees from cutting. Not from cutting, I'm sorry, from seed. So basically I have here lemon, and I have grapefruit. I'm so proud of these plants. I mean, look how beautiful they look. And I pruned them so they're a lot smaller. But look at the way that root development is coming out. I mean, it looks like a little bonsai tree. That's a thick trunk. And they all look like that. This is the 2nd year old. So I'm very happy to see that. I've got more corn back here. These leaves, these plants, they're huge. I've got my black beans down here. I actually have watermelon. I'm gonna let this watermelon just come out as far as it wants. And I've got celery there. But this watermelon, I mean, it's starting to take off. It was growing really, really slowly, but it wasn't hot enough. We had a unusually extended, you know, colder climate. So very happy I'm seeing it growing now. So here I got another citrus tree. I've got another blueberry, which I think the birds took this one too. And these right here is more mint, which I've actually pruned the runners out of the ground. And here I got stevia, and another little ladybug, adding to the perfect ecosystem here. All right, so that's a really, really nice sign to see. I love ladybugs. When you eat these leaves, I'll tell you what, man, I mean, it's not like mint where you get like a bitter aftertaste. When you eat stevia, this was the first time I had stevia. This I got with the stinging nettle. I mean, it's literally sweet through and through, all the way until you swallow it. You get no bitter aftertaste or anything. So I'm gonna wait till this gets really big, and I'm gonna enjoy that in multiple things, multiple different recipes. Here's another tomato plant, doing really nicely. Got some tomatoes growing in there. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm very proud of this. This is another one of my pride and joys. This is a zigzag tree. And the reason this is the zigzag tree is because I started this, literally it was a dried up little stick. It was here all winter and everything, and I'm like, this is not gonna make it. And boom, it just came out. And it's literally 3 times the size it originally was. This is an actual tree. So I'm very happy to see that. I can't wait to see how that looks throughout the years, but that is the zigzag tree. Here's another citrus tree from seed, doing excellent. I mean, phenomenal. Look how beautiful the green on that is. Very, very healthy new foliage on that. My brother-in-law and I built this basically when we have these crazy you know, winds or unusual drops in temperature. I throw them in there. This was actually the topping of one of the beds, but I had to take it off because with the heat, I mean, I needed some airflow. If not, it would have created a moldy experience for the plants. This right here is an actual green giant, which I bought, like, it was that big, and it's this big now. And that's the 2nd year old already. Here's my other patio tomato, which is doing pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? I got some tomatoes in here. I kept this one separate from the others. And if you see that little powdery stuff on it, that's actually sulfur. And and I had to do something because this is where I pulled the suckers from that you see on the bed. So I want to make sure this is actually not in any way diseased where it'll, you know, go to other plants. So I really don't know. I put sulfur in it and it looks like it's got new healthy growth growing out of it. So it's a very nice sign, and these leaves curled up is not a bad sign. That just means that it's been shocked from the you know, either too cold or the scorching sun or whatnot, and basically that's why I have those there. Let me see if I missed anything here. So these are the blackberry cuttings, and then oh, I gotta show you guys this over here. This is crazy. So this bed, I actually was intentionally wanting to put just that pear tree. This is another apple tree I started from seed, okay, and then just these 3 tomatoes there. I got this giant weed. I don't know what this is, man. If anybody knows what this is, let me know. I mean, this is basically, I mean, it grew so big and so beautiful that I gave it a lot of respect. I mean, look at the size of this trunk, you know what I'm saying? This is big, and it's not a tree. I mean, it's a weed. It's like one of those, it looks like a plant, you know what I'm saying? But it looks like a giant plant. Look at this. This outgrew the stake literally so fast that it fell. So I have to tie this up. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that when the video's done. Another mammoth sunflower. That's a pussy willow. And those are my maple trees. That one I bought really small too. It's gotten really big. This is my maple pussy willow tree. I'm gonna build a deck over here. That's my plan. I'm gonna have a big deck right over here, and you know, basically this is gonna be my meditation tree along with that other one down there. And I already showed you guys the grapes and the wormwood, but that's my next project here. I'll probably do that when the fall comes though. But yeah, if anybody knows what this is, let me know. Have you guys look at it again so you can see. I mean, it looks like it's gonna grow some type of berries, which I'm most likely not gonna eat because I don't know what it is. But I don't know what it is. It's just so big and beautiful. And what it's doing is actually protecting my tomatoes from like scorching sun, which is why these tomatoes actually look, you can see the leaves are actually a lot better on these than, you know, the ones you saw over there. They're not curled up, you know what I'm saying? And they're actually really, really nice and green with a lot of tomatoes, which I gotta put that up. If not, I'm gonna create a disease environment for it. This is wood. Basically, I was actually using this wood for, you know, using that for that platform. I gotta take all this out and clean all this out over here on the side. But if I walk through here, for example, what I have is, well, a cage and another trellis that I'm gonna be using. But this right here is compost. This is the ground mulch that I've been using, and then some topsoil that I had to get for these beds. Even though I had soil and, you know, compost and all that, I wanted to get some extra topsoil so I could put some of these cypress mulch, which has literally been helping out a lot. I mean, it's basically phenomenal. These 3 here are compost. I mean, you can see the holes on them. Okay, so let me show you what the inside of one of these look like. But they're all 3 of them are full. That's basically coffee grounds that I got there, and you see it's molding up already with some leaves and you know, all types of food scraps all layered in there. I moved it around so I could aerate the soil, but there's no smell. There's all kinds of food there. I'm talking about leftover rice and beans and, you know, all type of leftover food that we don't throw it out, we just compost it. So here I have more melons, which I'm just letting that grow. I've got more salad over here, which literally, if you see it this small, is because this is what I picked out of in the weekend too, and I made more salads out of it. These are the onions that I use, and these grew pretty quick since it was raining. And then those are my my blackberries back there. Here, these are another majestic tomato plants. These are sunflowers. I didn't plant these here. These just came out this year. I guess some birds took the sunflowers from when I had them over there and they fell over here. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to pull the seeds out of this soon, which I've seen some seeds just me moving this drop, so I don't know, maybe I'll have some more sunflowers here next year. It's up to me if I want to have them there or not though. But look at all the tomatoes I got growing out of this one. You see that? I mean, these are lines of tomatoes everywhere, so it's looking phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? These are actually 2 tomato plants here, and people are like, oh, you got too many things planted together. And again, everything's done with magic. Look how healthy these plants look. Beautiful and green. And I mean, it's basically, I got them supported with string, bamboo sticks. All the main vines, I've got them all tied up, as you can see. Because if I cut this, that's going to fall to the ground. That's a really big vine that literally connects to the main stem, which is this one. And then this is another plant. This one's tied up with 3 main vines, and this one's only got 2 because I didn't have room to grow another one. So basically, when I see like a sucker growing, I just basically cut that out, just to prevent it from growing anymore. I'm gonna show you guys the biggest beets. I put these 2 beets from Tops last year, and I was enjoying the leaves out of this. I was putting them in salads all spring, and basically, look at the size of that beet. I mean, it just looks like this beet literally looks like a pumpkin. But they look all deformed. These stopped producing. I'm not going to be eating those beets. They're no good anymore, because the fact is that I was supposed to harvest those a long time ago. All the energy was basically stopped going to the beet and to the actual, these leaves were actually big, but now they look small. It's because all the energy is actually going to these. And the reason I didn't harvest them is because I wanted this to happen. I wanted these to go to seed, and I want to actually use those seeds and start new beets, you know, with actual seeds that I can actually harvest. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I wanted this to be. And I love the I didn't really care for the beet. I cared more for the leaves. I was doing a lot of salads with them. So I'll show you guys what this angle looks like for these tomatoes. Look at all the tomatoes in there. Look at that. It's crazy, huh? Look at that. And then here, you can see the angle from here. All these tomatoes looking beautiful. Nice plants. So, you know, this is really, really healthy soil. For me to have been able to accomplish this, I had to literally condition the soil, because the soil here was trash. I mean, this is all just clay soil. And, you know, doing wood chips and, you know, just putting a little bit of an investment in wood, which I actually found a website that gives you wood chips for free. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped buying wood chips, but I was able to get wood chips at a really cheap price to actually fill up all these beds. I think I made a video on that, and I mentioned it, where I only paid $5 and I literally filled up my entire Jeep full of wood chips. And then I bought the miscellaneous Cypress wood chips. I didn't spend any more than $40 on wood chips. And, you know, with the topsoil is basically like $3 or $2 for, oh no, I'm sorry, it's $1.88 a bag. You know what I'm saying? So let me give you a nice little overview again of what everything looks like. You know, back there I just got to clear all that wood, but this usually I have it all cleared up and looking nice. This is what the entire garden basically looks like. You know what I'm saying? Along with the backside. The backside, I have more room to plant stuff on the backside, but again, this is only my 2nd year gardening, so I wanted to keep it manageable. And I'm doing a lot of experimentation, which is another thing. So it's basically a quick little walkthrough. But yeah, I've been harvesting and eating all this stuff. You know, I already gave 1 pumpkin to my dog. You know what I'm saying? My dog ate pumpkin. But you know, can't wait to start harvesting out of the cannabis. And you know, peppers. Finish eating my cucumber and tomatoes and whatnot. And this is my, I'm gonna paint all this too. So